When you start gardening, it's easy to make mistakes. In this video by The Daily Eco, we'll cover the 7 most common mistakes people make when growing succulents. Overwatering. Succulents are drought-tolerant plants, so they only need to be watered occasionally. Overwatering is one of the most common mistakes people make with succulents, and it can quickly lead to root rot and death. To avoid overwatering, check the soil before watering. If the top inch of the soil is dry, then it's time to water. Water deeply until water runs out of the drainage holes in the pot. Then allow the soil to dry out completely before watering again. Lack of water. While succulents don't need to be watered often, they do need to be watered deeply when they are watered. Watering too lightly can lead to dehydration, which can cause the leaves to shrivel and drop. To make sure your succulents are getting enough water, water deeply until water runs out of the drainage holes in the pot. Then allow the soil to dry out completely before watering again. Pot with or without hole. Whether you use a pot with a hole or without a hole will affect how you water your succulents. Pots without holes are recommended for experienced succulent growers only. Beginners should use pots with holes. If you use a pot without a hole, you must use a substrate that does not retain moisture, such as a mix of grit and pumice stone. You must also be very careful not to overwater. On the other hand, pots with holes are ideal for beginners. Use a regular succulent substrate and place a layer of light and porous stones in the bottom of the pot to improve drainage. But before we continue, let us put you to the test. Would you say that succulent plants can bear fruit? Yes, of course. No, it's impossible. Well, the correct answer is A. Did you know that dragon fruit comes from a succulent? In fact, there are several types of succulents that bear fruit. Incorrect pot size. Another common mistake is choosing the wrong pot size. It may seem like putting a small plant in a large pot will help it grow faster, but this is not the case. If the pot is too large, the soil will stay wet for too long, which can lead to root rot. Succulents also have shallow roots, so it's important to plant them in pots that are the right size. A good rule of thumb is to choose a pot that is one size larger than the plant's root ball. As the plant grows, you can repot it into a larger pot. However, be careful not to repot it too often, as these can stress the plant. Not enough sunlight. Succulents are native to hot, dry climates, so they need plenty of sunlight. Aim for 4 to 6 hours of sunlight per day, preferably in the morning. If you cannot provide full sun, place your succulents in a partially shaded area. If your succulents are not getting enough sunlight, they will start to stretch out and become leggy. The leaves may also become pale and fall off. If you notice these signs, move your succulents to a brighter location. Too much sunlight. While succulents need a lot of sunlight, some species cannot tolerate full sun. It is important to research the specific needs of your succulents to make sure you are not overexposing them to sunlight. Too much sunlight can cause the leaves to burn and brown. If you live in a hot climate, you may need to protect your succulents from the afternoon sun. You can do this by placing them in a partially shaded area or by using a shade cloth. Incorrect substrate. Succulents need a well-draining substrate. Garden soil retains too much moisture for succulents, so it is best to use a mix of potting soil, sand, and perlite. You can also use a cactus mix substrate. When choosing a substrate, be sure to select one that is specifically designed for succulents. These substrates are typically well-draining and contain the nutrients that succulents need to thrive. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments what plants would you like us to talk about in the next video, and until next time.